viewers. In the last video we are talking about the 7 wonders and 7 natural wonders of the world. And today we are talking about the most beautiful waterfalls in the world. If you like my video, subscribe my channel and put a like. Rainbow over the Iguazu Falls. Iguazu Falls is actually a chain of hundreds of individual waterfalls stretched out almost 3 kilometers to create the world's largest waterfall on the border between Brazil and Argentina on the Iguazu River. The visual and sound effects of all this water tumbling down some 70 meters is truly like nothing else in the world. The surrounding environs of jungling rainforests are equally beautiful, creating a magical memory you won't ever forget. The falls are protected in a national park and can be viewed from either the Argentine or Brazilian side. And actually we have questioned to ourselves why it's so famous. It's enough to just see photos or videos to be amazed by its beauty, but it's not only about tourism. The Iguazu National Park is home to many species of the animals and flora that create an important natural ecosystem connected to all Latin America. Each visitor who comes to the Iguazu Falls collaborates to continue the conservation work for the area. And obviously, Iguazu Falls have allowed the development of local economies, making the city of barrier to Iguazu and for the Iguazu growth and improve the quality of life of its inhabitants.
Chante avec moi, je veux une femme like you pour m'emmener au bout du monde, une femme like you.
The next waterfall is the Zambezi River. The Zambezi River is the UNESCO World Heritage Site of the Victoria Falls. Is another of the planet's most beautiful and impressive waterfalls. It's known locally as the Smoke the Thunders. During the rainy seasons, you can expect to get soaked walking along the trail on the Zambezi side, where the best view of the falls are around. The Zambezi site takes you up close and personal with the impressive wall of the water that plunges over the 1.7 kilometers wide precipice that is more than 100 meters deep. You can even swim in the Devil's Pool, which is literally at the top of the fall on the Zambezian side. And the area around the falls was once covered by a thick layer of lava, which as it cooled formed white cracks or joints that became filled with softer sediments. The force of the water also created a second gap at the upper edge of the trench that gradually diverted the river until the trench itself was left dry. As the river cut backward, it repeated the process, sorting eight successive waterfalls in the past half-million years. Next waterfall is Waterfalls Falls. Waterfalls Falls is the most beautiful of the 5 Waterfalls waterfalls that plummet over the orange-red cliffs into the bright blue pools in a side canyon on the Great Canyon. The waterfalls are all located on the Havasupai Indian Reservation and can only be accessed via an overnight 10 miles hike that requires advance reservation and payment on fees. No day hiking is allowed, and you must spend at least one night at the campground in canyon. Most people spend 3 nights. The number of people allowed into the canyon is limited, and there is often a waiting list to experience this bucket list worthy waterfall. Although there are many picnic tables on the opposite side of the creek, and it's easy to cross over by following the edges of the pool. It's possible to swim behind the falls and enter a small rock shelter behind it. However, drownings have occurred from the trailhead parking lot. Until the supply village, there is no access to drinking water. Hikers are advised to bring their own water with them. In the town of Supply, there is a general store and cafe where food and beverage can be purchased. Next waterfall is Niagara Falls. It isn't the tallest waterfall in the world, but Niagara Falls is certainly impressive in its scope and power. Niagara Falls is a comparison of three waterfalls. The largest is which is Horseshoe Falls. The fall can be viewed from a number of viewpoints in New York and Ontario. Cave on the Winds is one of the most unique viewpoints. Here you will descend 175 feet into the Niagara Gorge to experience the power of the falls mid-flow from the hurricane deck. You will given a rain jacket because you will get wet. And Niagara Falls is famed for its beauty and its available sources of power. Balancing recreational, commercial, and industrial uses has been a challenge for the stewards of the falls since the 19th century. Next waterfall is Plitwise Waterfall. The 16 Scandinavian lakes that make up the Plitwise Waterfalls in Plitwise Lakes National Park in Corinthia are an extraordinary sight. What makes these waterfalls really special though are the distinct shades of blues and greens from the aquamarine to emerald and that can be seen in the water as it flows over limestones and chalk rocks. All of this is surrounded by a lush green landscape that just makes for visually stunning tableaus. Social media pictures perfect. This park attracts more than 1 million visitors a year. And it's probably one of the more memorable waterfall attractions in the world, as Julia and I were pleasantly surprised at how large some of these waterfalls turned out to be once we finally saw them in person. Apparently, these waterfalls were tourist attractions even since the late 19th century. We learned this from a plaque alongside the Galvanacus Lake. Next waterfall is Rappi Falls. Just outside Chattanooga, Rappi Falls has the destination of being the tallest and deepest underground waterfall open to the public in the USA. Located 1,000 feet deep inside Lookout Mountain, this waterfall is accessed by taking an elevator 26 stories underground and then walking along cavern past crazy-looking geological rocks formations. Rappi Falls draws 145 feet into a pool, and while the falls are natural, they are lit up with a full-color LED light show. Still, it's an impressive and ultra-unique waterfall. In this waterfall also has a lot of waterfalls. Julia Falls and Rainbow Falls are a pair of wild waterfalls just north of Chattanooga. Falling Waterfall is a little further north. It's about a 20-minute drive. Savage Gulf, which contains a half dozen waterfalls, is an hour away. Cane Creek Falls and the other waterfall is Falling Creek Falls State Park are also an hour away. Falls is an hour to the south in Alabama, and Benton Falls is about 1.5 hour drive to the east. And it's the ending of my video. Thanks for your attention.